So this is going to be a pretty quick video. I do want to give my thoughts about Caesar and Gaul and some of the things that Creative Assembly has kind of been pissing me off about recently. Pointlessly bashing them is not something I'm really into. I love Creative Assembly. I do love the games they create. They are unique among strategy games, and I wouldn't be playing it if I didn't think that it had something unique to offer. But it's very frustrating to me that they're releasing a DLC right now when there's so many problems with the game, and I basically am not going to be buying Caesar and Gaul until at least 2 major problems in the game are fixed. And those problems are the desyncs in multiplayer campaign and replay corruption. Now, replay corruption has been a problem in Total War since Shogun 2. It was released almost 4 years ago at this point, and it's very, very frustrating because even though I don't know much about coding, I do have friends who know how to code games, and they've said that fixing something like replay corruption would actually not be a particularly difficult process. And the fact that it's still in the game bothers me a lot because as a YouTube commentator, it's very important for me to be able to go into a replay and have the replay play out correctly. Now, it's not even just for casting, it's also for people who want to learn from their mistakes and go in and see what they did wrong in a battle. And the fact that such a simple thing still hasn't been fixed yet kind of blows my mind, and it makes me very, very frustrated because what I enjoy doing on Total War is commentating replays. More than doing live commentaries, more than doing any other kind of video, it's going into a replay and analyzing it, and I simply can't do it right now because replays, they don't work. They simply do not work. Multiplayer campaigns. One of the other reasons I bought this game is because I wanted to play a co-op campaign with Madness and some of my other friends, and it's worse off now than it was when the game was released 3.5 months ago because you simply cannot play it. The game will desync very early on into the campaign. There have been numerous forum posts about it and nothing has been done, and again, it's another reason I'm not going to be playing or buying Caesar and Gaul because I cannot play a co-op campaign. And I think it would be fun to do a head-to-head campaign in Caesar and Gaul because it's much more focused and in a smaller area and wouldn't take as long, but they simply don't work right now, so that's another reason I'm not going to be buying it. Talking about Caesar and Gaul itself, there are 3 new factions, the Boii, Nervi, and Galatia. I'm sure many of you guys have already purchased it so far. I don't blame you. I think that supporting CA in some ways is a good thing. Like, they're a smaller company, and like I said, they make very unique games. So if you think that it's something that you're interested in buying, I completely understand. But personally, looking at the faction rosters, I don't think they offer a whole lot. The Boii, I've heard, is basically, and looking after their unit roster, is basically just a copy-paste of the Arverni, that they really don't have much to offer at all. I believe the Nervi have some elite swords, like fierce swords, I think they are. I'm going to get some of this wrong because I didn't really do too much research into Caesar and Gaul. I did the research, but I don't have a piece of paper in front of me telling me what units they have, so this kind of be going off the top of my head. I believe that they also have ambush archers, so they apparently have some flavor to them. And then Galatia, design decision from CA that I really don't understand is why they don't have an elite sword unit. They have Galatian Legionnaires, which are like 600 talents, which is like a mid-tier sword infantry, and they do have very good stats, but if Egypt's going to have access to Galatian Royal Guards, I understand that was a feature of Ptolemaic Egypt, that they recruited elite mercenaries from Galatia, but they are Galatians, so you would assume that the Galatians would also have an elite tier sword unit as well. So I think that was a strange design decision from them. I'm not really sure what they were thinking about that, but maybe that has some basis in reality, I'm not sure. In Caesar and Gaul, you get access to the Battle of Alesia. I've seen it played on YouTube. It looks interesting. In fact, I think it's one of the better features of the pack, honestly. But at the end of the day, it's only one historical battle, and I haven't even touched any of the other historical battles on Rome 2, except the Battle of Raphia, and that was fine, but it was nothing special. And ultimately, the campaign game, while it's adding some features that I think are nice, like seasons and a new recruitment system from the satrapies that will also get put back into the original Grand Campaign. Honestly, I could just go into the original Grand Campaign and play Caesar and Gaul and roleplay myself. I don't need to spend $15 for it. I could literally pick up a Roman or Germanic faction and play through the campaign and just focus on that region of the map and roleplay that way. So I don't think that what they've offered in this pack is worth $15, and even if it was, I would not be buying it because there are still many problems with the game that still haven't been fixed yet. As for the multiplayer side of things, the Scan Invitational Tournament happened last week. Panda Warrior and Agony Duck played in the finals of that tournament, and it was a really good tournament. I didn't actually get to take part in it much this time because Point Man sent me out in the qualifying rounds. Pretty much kicked my ass, so I didn't get to play very much. And I didn't get to cast either just because they seem to be pretty set in the fact that they wanted Gamer Dudester and Lionheart commentating for all of it. So I'll try to be more involved in the next one, probably as a caster. But we'll see how that goes. It bothered me, honestly, that Creative Assembly had said they were going to be more involved with this tournament than they were in the last one. In the last one, Dave Petrie, I don't remember exactly what his job is at Creative Assembly, but he joined the casters in the finals and did some commentating with us, which was pretty fun. But CA didn't support this at all. They made a forum post about it, and that was it. That was the extent of their support. So that's another thing that's been making me mad, is that they're not really supporting the multiplayer community at all. This was a huge tournament. It actually ended up having over 100,000 individual viewers, never at one time, but unique visitors to the page. There were over 100,000 of them, which is huge. And there were times during the tournament that there were 4,000 viewers simultaneously on the stream. So it was really good for the community, and I think it does. I think it's a step forward for the franchise in terms of a multiplayer, maybe moving more towards the esports side of things. But again, Creative Assembly didn't show up. They didn't support their game at all, and I think that that's a big mistake, because if you aren't going to support your multiplayer community, which is what gives much of the game life, I don't really know what to say about that. It doesn't say much for you as a game developer, I think. I am actually bashing CA. It's just very frustrating to me. Like I said, I love Rome 2, and I love the games that they create. I'm just frustrated right now, because there's just no reason not to be supporting the game that you're creating. Like, you've poured this much time into it, why wouldn't you go that extra step to be involved with the community? I'm not sure. Anyway, I won't be buying Caesar and Gaul until those problems are fixed. And those are my thoughts. I guess I'll talk to you later. See ya.